Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Authentic Podcast with Justin Doulard. And thank you for tuning in to another episode. And now, this is the moment you've all been waiting for. Another genuine conversation with a unique individual. It's time!
All right, we are live. It is 10:38 p.m. on a Friday night. Depending on when we put this out, probably hear it tomorrow, Saturday morning. But I got my best friend Cody Bair here with me. Came all the way from Fayetteville to see us in Colorado. So welcome and thank you for joining, Cody.
Yes, sir. You better count me as your best friend because let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. That 12-hour drive can suck a dick.
Oh, yes. Do appreciate it. We've had a good time so far, and so now we're drinking a couple beers. We just put a pork butt in the pit boss for about 10 hours for tomorrow, because tomorrow is the infamous Red River Rivalry.
It is indeed a day of either much celebration or much heartache for this poor Sooner here.
Are we gonna discuss our financial leverages, or are we just gonna?
I mean, I feel we might as well.
I think so.
This is a truth circle, isn't it?
This is called Authentic for a reason.
Yes, absolutely. Well, do you want to start or me?
So I'm 0 on the game currently. Haven't bet. I don't really have a dog in the fight. Not an OU guy. Not a Texas guy. My wife is a Texas fan. All of my friends are OU fans, but should be a good one. I'll probably put $25-50 down. But we. So let's see. Where do we start? Last night, we thought the Buccaneers were a lock against the Bairs.
They should have been.
We thought Tom Brady would beat the Bairs, no problem.
Yeah.
We were wrong, lost a little bit there. Cody, well, you can tell, you came back today on your Georgia Tech.
Yes,
Louisville.
so I also had fabulous Tom Brady beating the Bairs with Nick Foles, who for some reason seems to be Tom Brady's kryptonite. I don't know why. But last night,
only one of 4 quarterbacks that are 2-0.
But last night he made throws that he's never been able to make in his entire fucking career. But of course, when I bet Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback of all time, he makes him look like a chump. But yes, so I did a little wagering today on a little legal website called Bovada, and I bet that Georgia Tech would stay under a certain point percentage, and also win. And it came down to the wire, buddy.
Georgia Tech, Louisville, and Georgia Tech was actually the underdog.
Mm-hmm. Yep, both teams are dog shit, so it didn't really matter.
No, it was the over. You picked the over. You needed like 63.
Oh, that's correct. I did.
And they got it with like 2.5 minutes left.
Sorry, I was going off my other bet with the Miami Heat and the Los Angeles Lakers.
Yeah, so you won that one.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't bet on that one. And then we went Miami and the NBA Finals, Game 5 or Game 4, was it? 5. I picked the Lakers money line.
Mm-hmm.
I got the opportunity to cash out early, and I made $50, but they ended up losing. So we'll go to Game 6. But okay, tomorrow, Texas OU. Let's hear it.
Oh man, as far as predictions, I don't know. I've been watching OU for, let's say, 25 years, because everybody says I've been watching OU since they were born. Bullshit, you weren't watching when you were an infant. So
yeah, when can you really comprehend the game?
I mean, honestly, probably 5 or 6. I would say. I remember, because
so a solid 2 decades.
Yes, because my dad has always been an intense OU fan. My grandpa was a step above. This is the same man that when Billy Sims fumbled on the 1-yard line against Nebraska in 1978 to cost him a national championship, he threw a glass ashtray against his fireplace. And that is a true story. So, to say the least, the Crimson runs deep in the Bair blood.
That really happened? Fumbled to the 1?
Yes, he was going down the sideline, and Nebraska caught up to him and And
Wow.
and according to my dad, he said I've never been that scared in my life because I didn't know what he was going to do.
Oh, that's so awful.
But yeah, I'm a little biased, obviously, but I think it's the greatest rivalry in college football.
It's pretty awesome. It seems like every year, no matter who's ranked, who's not ranked, it's always a close game.
Yeah,
Minus a couple every now and then.
I mean, there's all kinds of bad blood games. You got Auburn, Alabama, you got Ohio State, Michigan. But man, as far as just two people that are exactly the same, Oklahoma and Texas people are pretty close as far as attitude, behavior, beliefs, and except for when it comes to the second weekend in October.
I always say that, unfortunately, Oklahoma is like a poor version of Texas, a poorer, smaller version of Texas.
I would agree. Texas's state leadership is much better at handling assets because our state handles assets like a drunken sailor.
Let's see. So we announced the last podcast I'm going to be a dad.
Mm-hmm.
You're a dad now. So how has that been during COVID? Having a baby during COVID? What month was Charlotte born again?
She was born January 15th. So
okay, like right before it all
got nasty. So life was normal when she came into the world. But man, probably a month into it, we started hearing, oh, there's this, virus coming out of China. We got to be careful. And I'm like, oh, well, that's across the world. Who's gonna care? And then a month later in March, Fayetteville, who's the most, I would say, left-wing part of Arkansas. The rest of the states, the rest of the state's very conservative. Yeah, it's like they're like Oklahoma, but they shut it down. You couldn't even go to Walmart for a while, and me being a panicker, when they set a date they were going to shut down, so I went to Sam's and I literally bought like $500 worth of food. I was doomsday prepping. I bought like a 10-pound bag of rice.
Honestly, that's what everyone was doing. Especially with the toilet paper.
That was the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. There was literally videos of people punching each other over shit tickets.
Yeah, I had to go. I didn't have to, but I did because Sam's was out. We had probably 4 to 5 rolls left, and I think we're going to be okay, but I didn't know. So I drove to one of the, how they have the Dollar Generals in the middle of BF&E everywhere you go now. I drove like 42 miles to get a 12-pack because I didn't want to run out.
I actually think that's Dollar General's business plan. Oh, you don't want to put a store here? We will. Like, you see Dollar Generals in the most podunk shithole towns. It's like, man, I don't know where I'm going to get some deodorant. No shit, there's a Dollar General right over there.
It's genius to me because if you live 45 miles out of town on a farm and you need a half gallon of milk or some Doritos or toothpaste, why would you? Those guys, no. I love those memes of Dollar General where it shows the people hiking through the woods and then there's a Dollar General at the top.
That's no shit. Coming out of Tahlequah going towards Stillwell, there's a Dollar General on the river.
Is there
right on the right before you get to Highway 10.
Yeah, I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I know there is one going out past the log store before you come to Pegs and all that, and that's perfect.
There's one in Keys.
Yeah.
But yeah, they that must be the business plan, I guess. Must be successful because they just keep popping these things up.
Anyways, though, but you had Charlotte a month before COVID got nasty, so I know you said tonight was one of the first times you guys been out to eat at a real restaurant.
Yeah,
one of the first few times anyway.
So when she was a baby, right before all this stuff happened, we went out to eat with her family at a restaurant in Rogers, and it felt normal. Everything was normal, and then after that, we've taken her to a patio once, like our local Mexican place. It just felt weird.
Yeah,
it's like the waiter's getting too close to my baby with where's he been? Maybe he's a dirty Mexican. I don't know. And he where has he been? What has he been doing? And it just freaks you out. I never thought because you've known me for a very long time.
Too long.
Yeah, I don't give a lot of shits about anything, and to have that paternal instinct kick in, it's like, holy shit, just stay away from my kid.
Yeah, so Charlotte's 8 months old? 9?
She will be 9 months the 15th of October.
Give me a brief synopsis of your almost first year of being a dad.
Oh, man.
What do I got coming? 4 months.
It's the number one thing it will test your marriage. There's no doubt about it, especially during COVID. We were stuck in a house with an infant that we had no idea what we were doing.
Yeah, first baby.
Our families would make suggestions, but family suggestions sometimes are like, yeah, I'm not doing that. That didn't work in the 80s. It's not going to work now. I'm not putting Vicks on her feet and putting a sock on her to cure a cold. Yeah, it was just crazy. You really find out what kind of person you really are. It's like, well, do I have what it takes to be a good dad? Because anybody can be a father. I'm sorry. Anybody can be a dad. You can be a sperm donor. But to be a father, it takes just a deep commitment to, you are responsible for this little thing who's helpless. She can't take care of herself. So it's up to you and your wife, hopefully, to take care of her. And it's been a journey, man. She's so fun now. But the first month, they usually just sleep all the time. I was like, oh shit, man, this is easy. Like, she sleeps for like 14 hours a night, and I'm like, ugh. And then, what does Haley call it? She called it the sleep regression, because about 2-3 months, they go through this little cycle where they don't sleep. She would wake up like every 2 hours. Oh. And like, I'm starting to see little fucking green men coming out of my bathroom. I'm seeing hallucinations. I'm rocking in the corner of PTSD. And God bless Haley. She's been amazing through this. First of all, to put up with my bullshit we've been together, not married, but for 5 years. And then, I wasn't the easiest to get along with during that time, because I like to be going. I like to hang out with people.
Yeah, you're definitely a social person.
And you lock me in a house for 2 months, it's bad things are going to happen.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Lindsay's been working from home full time, and I've been teleworking off and on, for the most part teleworking, and I already know I drive her crazy. Oh. Just being in the same house for 8 hours a day, because I'm like you. I'd rather be out talking to people, seeing people, be out of my element when I'm
human
at home.
Beings were not meant to stay in a place with somebody for that long.
Yeah.
Even if somebody they really care about. And man, when we could get out, when we could make that first visit, I was like, oh, thank God. I think we went to the lake first, went to see my parents. And, just when I got to Keys, I was like, oh, thank God.
We're really disappointed just because we were supposed to go to Cozumel in May. It was like a late graduation present for me, a late anniversary present, just this big celebration. Mm-hmm. Like, we've been saving for it, and I booked it in, I think, early February, and I bought the insurance, which is not something I typically do.
That is not something your cheap ass would do.
No.
I am shocked, honestly, you did that.
I did. I had an inclination because my dad gave me a warning about COVID, and then I was like, you know what? I was up in Grand Forks. I didn't know if we were going to be moving, so I was like, I'm just going to buy it, because it was like $150. But now we got the baby coming, so now I think next May we're going to have a 3-month-old. So
yeah,
probably going to be a while till we see the beach.
Well, but I
got my money back though.
Well, of course you did.
I bought the insurance. I needed it.
Either that, or you're going to chase that United teller down and kill her firstborn or something that took the money. Just so everybody knows, if you owe Justin Doulard a cent, like, I probably, one time in high school, I owed him like $5, maybe.
This is a lie.
No, it's not. It's the truth. I owed him like $5, and I never quit hearing about that $5 until I paid up. And he would have gone to my deathbed, and right before I closed my eyes and met my maker, he'd be like, "You got my $5."
Hey, don't forget, baby.
If they would have put coins on my eyes, he would have taken them off to collect his debt. Oh, you ain't getting out of this party free, baby.
Oh, yeah, it's true. I don't forget. If you owe me money, I want you to pay me.
I know, but it's not like I was costing you your next month's mortgage. $5.
I think I'm a little more lenient now, a little bit. But
I don't know.
Yeah, we were just thinking about that. Takes me back to high school. Talking about whenever Darrell brought it up. I totally forgot about this, but he talked about sports betting. He's like, "How are you betting on sports?" I was like, "What's legal in Colorado?" Mm-hmm. And he was like, "Yeah." The old bookie down at Hit and Run closed up shop.
Man, it was, for the longest time, I was like, is this actually happening? Because it was the most, like, covert, like, backroom dealing shit in the world. It was like, oh, here's this piece of paper, and if you fill it out, you get, what did they call it?
It said for amusement only.
For amusement only. But if you were to happen slide some cash along with that and you won, you could collect.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so for anyone listening doesn't know, Hit and Run in Tahlequah used to be run. I guess they don't anymore, according to Darrell, but they used to run a little bookie slip.
That shit was a live sports book.
It was a live sports book.
Yeah.
You would get, it was just NFL games, but they would print them out every Monday, Tuesday morning and set them on the counter, and you would go grab them.
Yep.
You would flip it to the back, and it would tell your odds, and you would circle your numbers just like you would in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
And you paid the cashier, and when you won, you went up to the cashier with your slip.
Mm-hmm.
And you cashed out. And at the very bottom, in big bold letters, it said for amusement only, so they could not be incriminated, even though there was like cops and firefighters.
That's the thing. How did they get away with that?
I don't, because it's a town of 30,000 people.
But that tells you just how backward some of our laws are. It's like, if you want to be a degenerate and bet on football, God bless you. Go ahead.
I don't understand it either.
If you want to take a little toke of the old dragon, why not?
I don't get it.
It's not hurting me.
Welcome to Colorado. You can do it both.
Oh man, I have smelled a few. Me and Haley were walking downtown this afternoon, with Charlotte, and I smelled a few skunks down the road.
Little Pepe Le Pew.
There's only one thing in this world that smells like that. And she was like, "Do you smell that?"
Oh yeah.
Of course I smell it.
Well,
it's those two over there.
What's crazy is Colorado Springs is actually not even recreational. It's only medicinal.
Yeah.
So it's not supposed to be out there.
Well, but apparently Denver, you could have a pound of it in the middle of the street. They're not going to do anything to you.
Dude, you can do anything you want in Denver.
Yeah.
It's crazy up there.
Well, LA the same way. I mean, it's completely. That's the only thing that got right. That's a dumpster fire over there.
Yeah, one of my buddies was telling me he does. Jesse Billings.
Yeah.
He's doing work out there.
Oh, for the Koval contracting, whatever?
Yeah, he's doing it on, I want to say the 49ers stadium. Something in San Francisco.
Nice.
Really big deal, but he was asking me about anybody who needs work because it's a big project. And I said, well, just curious, do you ever think about hiring local people? And he said, guess how much he has to pay laborers in San Francisco if he wanted to hire them from like a labor company there?
Hourly?
Yeah, hourly.
30.
36.
Yeah.
36 an
It was
hour.
insane. The only reason I know that from like heightened, inflation when it comes to wages is when I had Williston. Our stores, anybody that doesn't know, I work for Fastenal and we have branches, brick and mortar stores, and we would have to pay people, $35, $40 an hour because
no one else would do it.
Well, no, they could go down the road and make $50 on a drilling rig.
Oh, true.
Or go to Walmart and make $40.
Really?
Yes, they had to, it was the Wild West, man. There's never been anything like it. I've never seen anything like it. It was a land of temporary steel buildings.
Wasn't your rent like insanely ridiculous too?
I think
for what you had.
Yeah. So we had a double wide. They called it some kind of bullshit fancy real estate term. This is a double wide trailer.
I was on Zillow and I saw it the other day and it said something.
Isn't that bullshit? I'm like, just call it what it is.
Yeah.
It's a trailer. And I want to say our rent was like $2,600 a month.
God. And where? Where was that?
That was in Sidney, Montana. And if the folks at home want to Google Sidney, Montana, don't waste your time because it is a podunk shithole that I drove through plenty on my way out here. I started having flashbacks.
This is random, but it made me...
It always is with you.
Yeah, I know. But it made me think about when you said it smells like skunk downtown. We went to go eat the Mexican restaurant and it smell like marijuana. Me and Colton are both mind blown and amazed that you know what Pepe Le Pew is.
Me?
Well, anyone, yeah.
Well,
We've heard the name, but we're like, you're like, smells like Pepe Le Pew.
yeah.
And so we open it, and it's a skunk. We're like, how do you know that skunk's name?
I have a very, very strange ability to remember useless shit. Like, I remember stuff that it makes no money for me. There's no value in it. It's like, oh yeah, that's Pepe Le Pew. Oh yeah, that's such and such. I'm like, why couldn't I put this towards like the stock market maybe? You know? It's like, why do I remember random facts? I don't know.
I'm the same way with like lyrics and movie lines.
Mm-hmm.
I'll quote a movie line and Lindsay just stares at me and she's like, how do you know this? I'm like, I just never forget it. I just enjoy it.
It's like if me and Lewandowski and Chance, we start quoting Jaws, our wives literally want to blow their brains out because we can almost do the whole movie.
I absolutely love Jaws. So
farewell and adieu. It's a classic. If you don't like Jaws, you can fuck off. I don't care.
What was it, 70s or 80s?
That would be the
80s,
late 70s, I believe,
70s?
because that animatronic shark was dog shit.
But it's pretty scary for its time.
Yeah, back then.
Yeah.
Because, they weren't that, advanced, I guess.
Why don't you do some of your...
I made it sound like they're the Pilgrims or something. It's like that was only 50 years ago.
They came on the Mayflower. Why don't you do some of your Green Mile impressions?
Oh God!
Walking the mile.
So Green Mile it's absolutely in the top 10. I
It's
cannot.
a great movie.
It's not a channel flipper. If it's on TV,
You watch it.
I absolutely.
Same as Forrest Gump.
Yes, and when Edouard Delacroix is going to the electric chair, and was it Percy? Yeah, Percy. He hates that guy, so he put a dry sponge on the top of his head. Now the key with that, it has to be wet to pass the electricity through the guy's head. Well, this prick puts it on dry, and he starts burning. And this electricity's going.
They fried him.
And yeah. And the guy Sam Rockwell's in the back. He's frying now. Oh, they're cooking him good. And then Tom Hanks runs over to the guy that's running it. Turn it off, and the guy turns around. He's still alive. You want him to shut it off when he's still alive.
Oh God.
And then after the scene when they go down below and the warden comes down and he's like, what in the blue fuck was that? It's such a great movie.
Yeah, no, it really is. Stephen King, I had no idea Stephen King wrote that book until like 6 months ago. My grandparents told me.
You know what? It's a good thing that man can write, because he looks like he's out of one of his own books.
Yeah. I mean, didn't he have some creepy quote that said like, the difference between a murderer and a writer is the murderer does it or something?
Yeah, so...
You can't be normal and think about that shit. Write that many books. I
read something to where, he smoked so many cigarettes and drank so much.
Yeah.
I think all those writers do that.
Well, they especially for a cryptic guy, he's writing it
like Ernest Hemingway died of alcohol.
I think I have it right behind you somewhere.
It can stay up there.
Yeah, so... most of the books I get are gifted, and so I like to read them. But that one, I bought it in October.
It's a big book,
dude. It's over 700 pages, and it's the most detailed thing I've ever seen. Like, I appreciate it. I do. I can't fathom how he did that, but dude, I couldn't finish it. I got to like 200, and it's so detailed. It's almost too detailed.
I will say that miniseries, the original one, scared me more than anything ever, because my brother was a prick and used to make me watch it, and man, I hate clowns.
It's so realistic.
It is. Yeah.
Like, it's...
Hiya, Georgie.
Is it Tim Burton? No. What's his name? Tim something.
I don't know.
I'm bad with names.
Obviously.
You know the actor. The clown.
Oh, Tim Curry.
Tim Curry. I said Tim Burton.
Yeah.
Tim Curry, that guy is realistic. Like,
he scares the shit out of me.
The new It sucked.
It
was terrible.
I didn't like it.
I was awful. It wasn't scary.
Nope. You know, with all the advances they made in special effects, they could have made that thing horrifying.
Yeah, it was too sci-fi down.
Well, you know, but the original book, you know, and that the character that it character is pretty sci-fi. Like he's part of this multiverse of shit. But I want to get scared by a clown, and Tim Curry's version of it had nightmares.
Yeah. When's the last time you went to a haunted house?
Oh God, probably since I was like 13. I can't do it. No. What? Why am I going to pay money?
Oh my God!
For some lunatic to come running at me with a chainsaw.
Literally quoted that verbatim the other day because Lindsay's laughing at me. She's like, "You never want to go?" And I said, "Never.
Absolutely.
I never will."
I will.
I said, "Why would I pay to get scared? I don't even want to get scared for free.
No.
I'll pay you not to scare me." The last time I went to one of those,
I live in a haunted house because Haley fucking scares me all the time, and she thinks it's funny. She'll like catch me on the toilet or something and come around the corner and blah. Or the worst one is, you know, I'm sitting there on my bed as a ball, just eating my popcorn, you know, watching a movie.
I remember this one.
And she comes around the corner and absolutely scares the dog shit out of me.
It'd be funny if she had a clown mask. But...
There was a demon clown mask in my house at one time.
Why?
It was Corey Thornton's.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, he actually scared me with it.
I was there.
Yes,
That was funny.
Oh, man, they just freaked me out. Like, and you always joked about the Hertz donut clown knocking on my door. I'm like, that fucker better be wearing a bulletproof vest because if I see that in my door cam,
it's over. Tony Montana.
Say hello to my little friend.
Yeah, man, I can't do the haunted houses.
Nope.
I've watched too many documentaries and movies, and I think about the worst case scenario. I don't think that it's someone scaring me. I think, what if there's some sick, twisted Ted Bundy or, you know...
People take their kids, like little kids, into these.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're taking a person that's brain is not fully developed into this horrifying experience. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
No, first of all, the 30-year-old man is not going to do it. I'm not taking, you know, if Charlotte was like 5, I'm like, no.
Yeah,
I'll take her trick-or-treating, you know. Yeah. That's no problem.
I think I went when I was 13, and it's just brutal now. Like I said, I watch all these documentaries of these people locking people in their basements and killing them with axes, and I'm like, yeah, I'm out. I'm not paying $30 to do this.
It's a scary world. There's a couple Netflix documentaries that I'm like, Jesus, man, these people are nuts.
Yeah, Lindsay all the time. I'm never not with Lindsay, but if I'm not with her, sometimes she gets scared. And it's because that's all she watches, crime shows about women getting murdered. And like,
well, the only thing that's been running in my house on a constant loop is Grey's Anatomy.
Oh yeah, Lindsay's watching that too.
That is the most pointless show I've ever heard. So far,
it's like the longest one too. Right?
Well, number one, it's a medical drama. So every day somebody's dying of something that nobody's heard of.
All My Children.
And it's basically a soap opera in Scrubs.
Yeah.
And it's got like 17 seasons.
Oh yeah.
She's on like season 11. I'm like, you make me want to put an ice pick in my eye for this.
Yeah, no, Lindsay's been watching it, but I'm pretty good about just tuning it out. It doesn't bother me, but
have you watched the show The Boys?
The Boys? No, I've heard of it, but no.
So The Boys is about evil superheroes. So basically, if Superman was evil, the character Homelander is Superman.
Wasn't there a movie like this?
Yeah, he was a kid though. This is like a complete story, and there's guys that are trying to kill him, and the leader, Bill Butcher, who's played by I can't remember the actor, but he's hilarious. He's like this Australian guy, and he calls everybody cunt. He's like, you're a good cunt.
So is it a funny?
It's funny, but it's brutal.
Interesting.
Like there's people that get their heads like.
Like what? What's the last movie you saw in theaters?
Oh, in theaters?
Do you remember?
I don't.
It's been so long.
It's been a very long time.
It's probably been 8 months because that's how old your daughter is.
And I love going to the movie theater.
I do too.
I enjoy it.
I miss eating about 2 tubs of popcorn with a large Diet Coke.
I'll tell you what, the fat boy trick of putting the straw into the popcorn and putting the butter through the straw so it seeps up through the middle, that I don't care what anybody says, you got to be a rocket scientist to come up with that.
That's pure magic.
Yeah.
I don't remember where I discovered that, but I've used it ever since.
Excuse me. Let me crack open
Cheers.
another one of these fine Rocky Mountain waters. I figured since I'm staring at the Rockies, I might as well be drinking Coors Banquet.
You're basically eating a loaf of bread.
Yeah, but you don't feel as bad.
The banquet. You feel a little buzz.
Oh, I mean, they're stout. They're made an hour north of here.
You remember how we were... remember how we were talking earlier about like New York City and then like Vegas being empty, the Strip and all that?
Yeah.
So we had this story. Told you I went to go see Colton like right when it was getting weird. It was real borderline if I should go or not. And I did, and we were fine. And the Strip was pretty dead. There was people out, but it wasn't closed. It closed like 48 hours after I left. We pretty much laid low, and we were supposed to go to a concert and an MMA fight. And both got canceled, which we thought it was. But anyways, it made me think because we were talking about the Strip and how desolate it was and how it was like a movie or, you know, something out of like an apocalypse. Well, so we're walking down the Strip, and there's this guy in front of us. And naturally, one of the guys, you know, selling club tickets or trying to get you to call the stripper and all that's hustling.
Telling you what.
And the guy's like, man, you know, leave me alone, I don't want it. And that guy's like, you know, putting in his face. And he's like, you know, this town's about to shut down in a week. He said, you're going to have to get a real job.
Yeah.
And this guy goes, this is $1 billion city. We don't ever close, baby.
Uh-huh.
He said, have fun in Kansas. Boom. 3 days later, the Strip is closed.
Done. You're sleeping in a cardboard box, sir.
And Colton,
which you probably were anyway.
We talked about it later because we were laughing about it. And then we went back and I was like, you remember that? It's like, that guy said, he's like, the $1 billion city never goes to sleep. He was like, dude, it's like out of a movie.
Vegas is the craziest town I've ever been in my life. You know, the last time I was there is with you.
Oh, I remember.
And, you know, it's just crazy. You'd walk out of a casino and walk on the Strip, and you know, some lady of the night would approach you and like, you want some company? I'm like, Jesus, lady, for the second night in a row, yes. Of course I do. How much we talking?
For the second night in a row, yes.
For this, yeah. You look a little dirty. You can shower in my room. Come on.
Yeah, Vegas is.
It's unlike any town I've ever been to. Well, outside of New Orleans, dude. New Orleans, first of all, the culture, they're not America.
No.
Louisiana is a different country.
Yeah.
Those Cajun people, they don't give a shit. Like, when LSU will come up and play Arkansas, you see some of the, like, when we could tailgate, I saw 2 grown women fighting in the tailgate area. I'm not talking a slap fight. I'm talking, like, landing jabs and crosses, and they were beating the absolute hell out of each other. Oh. And afterwards, they were fine.
Damn. Yeah, my grandparents, I don't think they dislike many people, but they're not very fond of LSU fans. They've never had much good to say about them.
You know, not being an Arkansas fan, I live, you know, at the home of the University of Arkansas, but I've only got a small exposure. But some of my buddies, they talk about those guys. They're bad.
Yeah, no, New Orleans is definitely its own little world. It's so fun. You couldn't pay me enough money to live there, but I'd love to visit. Yeah,
like, I mean, the Big 12 has those too. Like,
oh, yeah. Every fan does.
You know, OU's got some doozies, buddy. Like, you know, when we used to go, I would be like, good God, come on, man. OSU's got them. Texas has them. I don't care what anybody says. I've seen them.
Oh, yeah.
But the worst ones to me are Texas Tech fans.
Really?
They're terrible.
I didn't know they had a very large fan base.
Well, that was the last game I was at.
Where is Texas Tech?
Texas Tech is in Lubbock, Texas.
Lubbock. Never
It
been.
is out in the middle of nowhere, West Texas.
Never
Me and Dad went to OU Texas Tech last year, and God, they're annoying because they're getting beat. I forget what the score was, but we were beating the absolute hell out of them.
The Red Raiders.
And they were like, Sooners ain't got shit. I'm like, it's not even the third quarter, you know. But then you got the nice ones like K-State fans, nicest fans in the world.
I know it's technically Missouri, but it's almost Kansas. But Kansas City Chiefs games, I loved. I've been to 2, not many, but their fans were awesome. We went
Yep.
we went to the Eagles game, and then I took Colton, bought him tickets because he was kind of a Dolphins guy
Mm-hmm.
to the Dolphins. But anyways, we went, and everyone was super friendly, trash talking. That place gets rocking and loud. It's fun though.
You know, I swore off going to Bedlam ever again
It's
after
bad.
after going to Stillwater.
Oh yeah, weren't they like harassing you and your dad or something?
Yes. Yeah. Now, granted, there were some underlying factors there as to why a certain person couldn't function, but we're just here to have a good time. Leave us alone. And they're giving them shit. I'm getting mad, and I'm like, okay, there's 6 OSU fans. I'm gonna get the shit kicked out of me. But so finally, we get out of the stadium, and I look over at Dad, and I'm like, never again. I will never. And I'm pissed at him too, because he put me in this situation, and I'm like, never again. You're giving me a refund on these goddamn tickets. I'm buying us an Uber back to our cousins, and I'm gonna sit there and watch this game.
How much were the tickets?
Man,
$250.
I bought them for Father's Day, so they're pretty good.
Yeah,
They're probably like $200 a piece.
so you go to a big game, it's usually at least 200.
So, yeah, it's
What was the last football game you went to live?
live.
Yeah,
That would be the Texas Tech game. That was the last one.
in Lubbock.
Yep. So quick story. Apparently, my dad has known a member of the Sooner Club for 25 years. Now,
What's
for
that?
people that don't know, the Sooner Club is the donor.
The Boosters.
Yes, the booster club of OU that gets free tickets. Well, they're not free, but they
Wow.
get a lot of tickets.
They're
They're the
compensated.
ones that get the padded seats, at stadiums. And he was like, hey, my buddy is going to give me these tickets, to Texas Tech. And I'm expecting, like nosebleed seats,
Yeah,
free tickets.
Free tickets.
We show up to this guy's tailgate. He's got 2 RVs. He's got a trailer. It's got a 60-inch TV in it. And I'm like, how long have you known this human being? He's like, well, I've known him for about, 20, 25 years. I'm like, and you're just now telling me about this? We get, it's about time for game time. We start walking to the stadium, and the guy's like, where are you going? I'm like, well, we're just, it's probably a mile from his tailgate. I'm like, we better leave now. He's like, oh, no. You don't have to walk. Here's a shuttle. Free shuttle tickets. And they pick us up right there at the tailgate. And we get into the stadium, and I'm looking at this ticket. I'm looking at the seat number. I'm looking at the row. And I'm figuring out where this seat is.
This is at an away game.
No, this is at a home game.
Oh, it's at a home game.
It is on the 50-yard line, row 12. Like, I could spit on a Red Raider if I wanted to. And all the game, me and Dad are having fun. We're drinking beer, and I'm just looking over, and I'm like, you son of a bitch. I could have had this my whole life.
Yeah, why at age 30 is this the first time we're delving in this?
Well, so me and my dad are very different when it comes to that. He doesn't, I'm not going to say take advantage, but if my friend had those tickets, I'd be like, hey, Justin, what are you doing this weekend? Oh, not go to the OU game? Give me those tickets.
I would honestly say this. I'd be like, hey, I realize I'm not your first priority.
Yeah.
Maybe your second, third, but if you ever get down the list or you can't go, like, I'll tip you for him or something.
When I took this guy to the side, I was like, listen, let's cut out this middleman, okay? Okay. I love him to death. He's my dad, but let's talk about this, okay?
He said, let's cut out this middleman.
Let's cut out this no working middleman. Let's talk about this. What do I got to do? What kind of Christmas gift do I have to send you to get like OU Texas tickets? He was like, you want to go to Red River? Granted, this before all this bullshit. He was like, you want to go to Red River? I was like, oh, absolutely. I've always wanted to go. I've never been. He's like, how many you want? I was like, how many tickets? He's like, yeah, how many you want? Doesn't matter. I'm like, I have no idea. I had no answer for him because I didn't expect him to say that.
Right.
I was expecting him to be like, oh, you can bring, you and your wife. Or,
Yeah.
But yeah, I took him to the side. I was like, listen,
Let's cut out this
you cut out
middleman.
that Arab over there.
That's
For anybody that doesn't know, my dad wears extreme amounts of gold jewelry, and I call him Arabian.
I hope he listens, and
He's not going to.
you're probably right.
He looks like he should be working the kiosk at the mall selling cologne or some kind of Himalayan sea salt. My friend,
Woodland Hills.
that man owns more cologne than any human being should ever own. I opened the last time I was at his house. I opened his medicine cabinet, and no bullshit, Justin. There were 6 bottles of cologne in there, all different kinds too.
What about the half-gallon bottle he got you from Sam's Club?
Oh my God, this stuff! I wouldn't put this stuff on my dog. It was. And he was so proud of it too. He's like, hey, because I'm figuring, this guy's been bathing in this shit for 40 years. He probably knows what he's talking about. I crack it open. I smell it. It smells terrible. Like, it is so potent.
What was it?
Oh, I don't even know. Some off-brand bullshit. And
guess
he was like, what do you think? I'm like, this smells like shit. You could see his face just drop, and my mom is laughing her ass off in the background. The bottle is still full in my bathroom. I haven't touched it.
Wait a minute, Blackbeard's Delight.
It was so bad.
Sex Panther by Odie.
I was like, you couldn't have got me. I would have taken like Polo or something,
Dad, I'm not gonna lie, it smells like pure gasoline.
It's gonna take about an hour to wash that off, and I don't even wear cologne. Like, what did Haley say the other day? Like, because he gave me some Tommy Bahama cologne. It smelled pretty good to me.
He's got to be sponsored by Tommy Bahama.
He should be. God, everything he wears. He showed up to golf the last time in some kind of Tommy Bahama linen shirt.
He deserves it.
I'm like, you're wearing a gold chain, 2 gold rings, a gold watch. Silver watch. And a linen shirt to come play golf at Cherokee Springs. I'm like, you act like you're showing up to the Masters. Oh. And I was like, why are you wearing that shirt? He was like, man, it's light. I like it. It flows in the wind. And I'm like, yeah, but this ain't the beach. Let's go.
You're not down in Miami. But anyways, you said Haley was saying something?
She was talking about this Tommy Bahama cologne. And she was it smells like Fat Boy cologne.
Fat Boy. Wow.
And I was like, would you care to define that term for me? And she was like, it just smells like something that a fat person would put on them to cover the stink.
Interesting. Kind of like the
Axe body spray.
Yeah, kind of like the Italian shower. You don't bath, you just cologne up.
It's so bad.
So I know he for 120% won't listen. So I remember back in high school, Chris telling me that his grandma would get him a bottle of Stetson.
Oh yeah.
Every year for Christmas.
Yeah, baby.
And it was like the Stetson gift pack. So it was like the big bottle with like the deodorant, like the shampoo or some shit, the aftershave.
They make some shit that comes from elk. Like that shit is so stout, it could call in a calf.
Yeah,
cow.
He would get Stetson every year, and I guess he never wanted to tell his grandma he didn't like it. And so he had like 7 bottles of Stetson on his dresser.
So much.
Still in the box.
I'm not a cologne guy. But yeah, it's a crazy time, man. If you have a minute, I'd like to play you.
If I have a minute, you're staying with me till Monday.
I'd like to play a couple songs on my phone that you can barely hear, like Chase did. That's literally 10 minutes I'll never get back listening to that podcast because I couldn't hear it. You couldn't hear the music, and he was just going for it. I'm like, Chase, give it up. It's not working.
I told him when we were doing it that it was kind of quiet. Of course, I could hear it, but it was a fun little game. But Chase, he always keeps it interesting.
Oh, Chase Hopkins. He is the Lord broke the mold when he made Chase, and he is a unique individual. The pleasure of watching him dribble into the hole in basketball is worth.
Oh, my God.
Imagine Philip Seymour Hoffman from Along Came Polly, and if you've seen that movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
So I'm gonna buckets.
Oh my God, raindrops.
So
downtown. Dong.
Bounces off the top of the back.
He's like, I'm just now figuring out how to guard Sasquatch over here.
So I'm gonna do what I usually do. I'm gonna make fun of someone else, and then I'm gonna make fun of myself, and I'm gonna defend both of us. But
okay,
pretty much all of us playing pickup basketball at that church was pretty god. Like if anyone who played
That was horrible.
any true basketball would come by and saw us, it'd been bad.
So we're all not the most gifted athletes in the world, and we're all out of shape.
I think there were, so it was the consistent four was me, you, Corey, and Chase, and I think out of the four of us, we probably have played 2 basketball games in our life.
I will go.
I
will go to my grave saying Corey Thornton has the worst basketball shot I've ever seen in my life. Kind of like the Ryan Watkins baseball throw.
So I've played basketball with Corey. It's pretty bad, but mine's not good. But I still haven't seen.
You do the old Jackie Moon 2-hander.
It's called the Amari Stoudemire.
I have no shot, but if you come in my space, you're getting a foul.
Dude, you used to beat Chase up.
I warned him. I'm like, I own this hole, baby. This is mine. He never listened.
And Chase would go full longest yard. Like, you'd like punch him in the face and be like, I'm good.
Well, he would come in like a bat out of hell, and all I would do is just shoulder check him, and he would go flying off. And he'd be like, that's a foul.
What about Chris's fouls?
Oh, my God. Jesus Christ. I'm like, you breathe on the back of his head. He's like, pow. And Chris only had one move, and that was that turnaround jumper.
Busted fadeaway.
The fade too close is what it was. Oh,
the Kobe at age 12.
God. Looking back on it, I'm like, man, we were terrible at basketball. It was fun, though.
Oh, it was so much fun. We'd go play it by that little church.
Until the church told us we couldn't play there anymore. Remember that?
Yeah. I don't know.
This is the Lord's house. You can't play basketball on Lord's property.
It was right behind Georgetown in the lodge.
So stupid.
Off of what was that? Right off the.
It was a dirt road.
Yeah. Pretty sure we found it by pure accident, but that was fun.
Yeah, and
I love playing pickup basketball.
And the guy, it's like, what? Who are we hurting? There's nobody out here. Yeah, it's Saturday. When y'all come to worship tomorrow, we'll be gone.
Yeah, those are good times.
Oh man, we got a bunch of them. We've been friends for how long? We met in the freshman year of high school.
So we're almost both 30. So I would say 15 to 16 years.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I like. First of all, I like reminiscing just because it's fun. Lindsay always makes fun of me. She says I can't let go of the past, but I'm like, sorry, I had a good life. I miss college so much.
I do too.
I mean, I have a great life now, and I love it. But oh my God, with college, it was like, okay, Tuesdays and Thursdays, I had zero responsibility. I was supposed to do homework and study. Most of the time, I woke up at noon, went to rib crib, slept. Did some intramural shit we had.
Well, for the first year of college, I was supposed to have a responsibility of keeping the president's leadership class scholarship, but I failed.
I didn't bring it up. You did, so you got to tell us. You got to relive that one. You brought it up.
Well, so the president's leadership class in Northeastern State is pretty prestigious scholarship.
It's the number one scholarship at
MSU. And
a full ride. So.
I was definitely, not as qualified as the other candidates, but you get me an interview and I can steal some money from some folks. Now, some of the deeds that I said I did kind of stretch the truth maybe a little bit.
I mean, one, that's every story you tell, and two, that's pretty much every resume in America. So,
hey, I bet you didn't know that I took burnt kids down to the Shriners Hospital in Houston.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Hey, it was for a free college education. I don't care.
Wow.
Hey, you got to do what you got to do.
Well, maybe karma came around.
Oh, she hit back hard, buddy.
Let's hear it.
I know
what happened because I lived with you.
the first semester I was pretty good. You had to keep I think like a 3.25, I believe, to keep it. Now, that second semester, I'm not blaming it on Kappa Sigma. It was my own fault. But I started partying and stuff. And, dude, my grade point went from like 3.4 to like 2.5. It was god-awful. I fell bowling.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
And
bowling was at like 9, and I'd wake up at 9:20 and be like, hey, you going to bowling? You're like, shit.
And I was so lazy back then. I had a broomstick, and my alarm had a little snooze button on it, and I was on the top bunk, and I would reach over and tap that instead of getting up out of the bed. But yeah, they gave me every chance to keep it too, and I was just a dummy. But looking back on it, losing that, because I couldn't have been able to hang out and party and do everything and meet everybody I did with that scholarship. There's no way, because you had to study so much. But yeah, so that was a fun phone call to make. Told James Lee, he was like, "You did what?" I was like, "Well, I lost that scholarship." He was like, "You mean to tell me you failed bowling?" I'm like, "Yes." He's like, "A blind nutless monkey could get a C at Northeastern and pass bowling." And yeah, he was not too happy with me. Let's just say the least.
That's so funny. You failed bowling. You got a D, right, or was it an F?
It was a withdrawal.
Ooh,
I got it changed.
I had a couple of those.
Again, I went in front of an administrator, and I made up some stuff that was not true.
Oh my God!
I
don't even want to hear.
You don't. It was bad. I don't feel bad for it. I don't.
I don't think you do.
It's survival of the fittest. I had to do what I had to do.
I love how the story we're referencing is a story about you lying, but yet you're like, I don't feel bad.
I don't.
You're so honest about the lie. So
I don't care. You gotta. Hey, you know what? It's either that or I gotta pay for college. So better than taking out a loan, which is the biggest hypocrisy this country's ever come out with.
Student loans.
Oh my God. Yeah. Let's let these 18-year-olds take out money they'll never be able to pay back with compounding interest. That sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, going to I would have loved, of course, I don't take back anything I had in college. I mean, I had so much fun, changed my life, met my wife there, but
I remember when that little romance first blossomed.
Oh yeah, it was 7 or 8 years ago.
Yes.
But I would have, loved to go to U of A. But gosh, if I didn't have the scholarship, I mean, you're looking at $50,000-$60,000.
That out-of-state tuition ain't messing around.
Ridiculous.
And so it'd be the same if I tried to send, Charlotte to OU. That out-of-state tuition is bad.
Yeah, unless you start saving day one.
Or, she's probably going to be a pretty good-sized gal. You give her some golf clubs. Let's pay for Dad's retirement.
Let her be the old John Daly of the ladies.
Yeah, I mean, I'll ride around the golf course, drink beer, and encourage her. I'll do that.
Yeah, I think it's super cool when, I don't know, my favorite sports, football, MMA, basketball.
Yeah.
I think it'd be super cool to watch my kid play a sport that I never had anything to do with, golf or hockey.
Well, that's kind of the advantage of having a girl, because they can play some sports that I'd never be allowed to. What if she played volleyball?
Right.
Who knows? Maybe I would get so into volleyball I'd be that dad.
Mm-hmm.
Soccer, maybe. Well,
there's no cheerleading.
Oh no, unfortunately she was probably blessed with the Bair lower body, so I don't think soccer's in her future.
Hey, you never know.
Maybe a goalie. But speaking of UFC, let's kind of go down this road a little bit.
Let's get it,
because
we transition well.
We're a good team, I'm telling you. I don't know why it took us so long. You've been sitting here with this A talent on the sideline.
Well, to be fair, we were gonna have you on there, and you're like, "I'm coming in person." It was like,
yeah.
Person.
It's way better in person. I'm glad we waited to in person, but yeah, we got some big fights coming up.
So 2 weeks is Gaethje Habib.
Yep, the grudge match.
For the record, side note, obviously we know I don't have a gambling problem, I don't think, but I do like to.
It's only a problem if you admit you have one.
Right now on FanDuel, Habib to submit Gaethje is plus 250. I feel like if he's gonna win, he's gonna submit him. I don't know. Obviously, it probably won't work out that way. But anyways, yeah, man, I haven't really made an official prediction, but
yeah,
I'm interested to hear what you think.
Well, so here's the thing. Everybody knows what Khabib's gonna do. He's not gonna strike with you. He's gonna come in. He's going to take you down, press you up against the fence, and beat the shit out of you. That's what he's going to do.
Yep.
That's what he's done for 25 fights. Gaethje is a high-level wrestler.
But he never uses it.
Yeah, exactly. I would probably say the best wrestler Khabib's ever fought from an athleticism standpoint, and also just, dude, a sheer aggression. That dude
He's a
is
psycho.
the most aggressive human being. He doesn't care.
No.
His fight with Michael Johnson, when they're sitting there trading on the chin, just
Yeah.
boom,
He
boom,
he
boom.
almost lost that.
He should have.
Yeah.
He took 3 hooks to the right to the nerve that should have just shut the lights out.
His ankles were wobbling bad. I
But
don't know how
he's such a psycho, and he's like, I want to see Khabib bleed. I want to see his blood run down his face. I'm scared. I'm like, I'm not going to be anywhere near this dude.
he's pure entertainment.
Well,
Pure entertainment.
plus, and he has Trevor Whippleman as a coach, and he's a genius. Like,
he's like an hour away.
he figured Tony Ferguson out. He figured what to do.
Yeah.
Stand at distance, outbox him.
Yeah.
I mean, that's exactly what he did. He beat the shit out of Tony. That was bad.
I did not see that coming. I didn't
either.
I thought based off, of course, an armchair.
As I sat in my recliner drinking my 200-calorie beer.
Yeah, not that I know a lot about mixed martial arts, but I just thought that Gaethje was going to gas out again, kind of like he did against Eddie and Dustin.
Well, if you listen to him talk about it, in the old days he would have.
Yeah, but
he would have tried to gone for the finish so bad that he'd gas himself out. But after about the first round, he was like, I got this.
Yeah.
He was like, let's just dance with him for a little bit.
Did you listen to him and his coach on Joe?
I did.
That was good.
Yeah, so any MMA show on Rogan I listen to. Yeah. I just think he's the best at what he does, by far. He's the best at having a conversation, period.
Yeah.
And he actually listens to his guests. Like, a lot of the podcasts I listen to, the host is talking more than the guest. I'm like, that doesn't make much sense. But, to get back to the Khabib Gaethje thing, I really want Justin to win. He's probably one of my favorite UFC fighters. I don't think it's gonna happen, man.
I agree with you. I mean, I think he has a shot.
Definitely has a shot.
But I mean, they say Khabib's lost one round, barely.
Barely.
Yeah, 1 round.
Here's the thing: if Gaethje can leg kick him, because him and Edson Barboza probably have the best leg kicks in the business. Mm-hmm. Because God, Edson Barboza kicks anywhere, you're going down. Yeah. Dude's a freak. And the way
both of those guys beat Edson, right? They've both fought Edson.
Yes. So if you look at the Khabib Edson fight, you see Edson quit in his eyes. Like, every time he gets taken down by this fucking polar bear, he can't get up. And his eyes are just like, I want out of here.
Yeah.
It's a scary thing to see.
Yeah.
Because, what would you do in that situation? You got a guy that's stronger than you, more in shape than you, taking you down and beating the shit out of you, and you can't get up. It's terrifying.
They say, I've heard that, weighs in at 155, and then he walks around at like close to 200.
Oh, Khabib?
Yeah.
Oh, he's a big dude.
That's crazy.
Dude, he wrestles, he hangs with DC.
Yeah.
And DC weighs 240 pounds and is an Olympic wrestler.
Yeah, and DC can strike.
Absolutely, he can. Yeah, I don't see it. Khabib he's just so good at what he does. And that team there, they've got it figured out. They know what to do. But, like I said, if Gaethje can keep it at distance, leg kick him, take those takedowns away, because, if you destroy the base, you can't take somebody down. So
I was pulling up some of the other ones that we got right offhand. So
and Khabib does not want to box with Gaethje.
No.
That would be bad.
Yeah. So what do you got? You got Khabib?
Yeah. If a gun in my head, Khabib decision. Unanimous.
We're kind of backtracking, not as big as that one, but a nice one. Brian Ortega, Korean Zombie next weekend.
Ooh, man.
Talk about some stones being thrown.
Man, I like me some T-City.
Not a big T-City guy.
Really?
No, I don't. Just not my guy.
I've become a fan of jiu-jitsu,
mm-hmm.
and dude, his jiu-jitsu is on another planet.
Yeah.
When he locked up that guillotine choke against the guy with all the tats, the guy with the palm tree.
Oh yes, I know who you're talking about.
Damn it! like a
Cub Swanson?
Yes,
Yes.
the cub.
Yes.
The cub got choked out.
Yeah, he's got that Cali
Yeah.
cat.
Yeah, Brian Ortega.
He's a tough dude.
Well, but he's fighting a dude that I don't think is human. Like, the Korean zombie is taking some shots that no human being should ever be able to take.
He doesn't talk. He just presses forward. What about who were you just referencing? Ortega. I watched this clip of when he fought Holloway,
Mm-hmm.
and he said his hands hurt more than his face because his hands were like broken or busted up.
Yep.
And so he was like, I just put my hands on purpose because I'd rather take one to my chin than my hand because my hands were hurting so bad.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when Luke Rockhold fought Yoel Romero. He was like, it felt like hitting a piece of steel.
Yeah. How is that guy like 43 and he's only had 13 pro fights?
Well, I don't think it's a secret, Justin. He was part of the Cuban wrestling program, and there's more than beans and rice at play there. He's been on some of that Mexican gas, if you know what I mean.
Gas station.
There's, I get genetics. I do. There's no earthly way that dude can do that at 41 years old. However old he is. He's Cuban. Who knows?
What about, oh God, who was it? Who was the fighter from Oklahoma State? He was so good on the juice, but he was so
Big
bad.
Rig?
Big Rig.
Oh, the Big Rig, man.
You think that guy was on the juice?
Shit. You see what happened when old USADA pulled up a chair. They're like, oh yeah, come on, Hendricks. Let's.
He took a dump.
Dude, you could put his piss in a microwave. kind of like Brock Lesnar.
Oh
It's
my
like,
God.
I love Brock Lesnar. I don't care what anybody says. He's one of my favorite UFC fighters of all time because he was entertaining.
He is. He's done so much too. He didn't play long, but he was on the Minnesota Vikings. He was a
NCAA heavyweight
NCAA
champion. WWE champion multiple times.
Well,
It's still an accomplishment.
true. And then what else did he?
There's only been like 20 of those.
He did some other stuff. There's like one or two other things he
Yep.
did. I'm surprised he hasn't been in a movie, honestly. But
So I may make me a nerd, but I do listen to wrestling podcasts. And I listened to Jim Ross's podcast. And one of his subjects was Brock Lesnar. And he was saying the first time that Vince McMahon saw Brock Lesnar in person, Vince McMahon looked over and said, "What the fuck is that?" And this is Vince McMahon, who's seen Hulk Hogan. He's seen everybody.
Right.
Brock Lesnar's standing there. He said he was standing there in a tank top and some wind pants. And he said, "What the fuck is that?" And they've never seen anybody like him that can move like that.
Right.
He did a shooting star press at 310 pounds.
I don't know what that is.
So basically, it's a backflip that you land on your stomach. And he did it across the ring. It's like a 25-foot jump, and he did it. 310 pounds. He about broke his neck, though. Like, seriously, I'll show you after this. He about died.
Wow.
Well, can you imagine 310 pounds coming directly on your neck?
Yeah. One wrong move.
Once in a lifetime athlete, I think.
Yeah, no, he really is a phenomenal athlete.
Him
On
and-
and off the juice, but
Him and old Big Francis.
I'll never understand how Francis has been beaten in a fight. I can't see it.
Stipe Miocic is how he was beat with a fight. You're not beating that Croatian killing machine.
I know, but it's just mind blowing to see. But made me think about that one that one story about Brock Lesnar. That he had like a 4XL UFC glove or something, and it was like tearing open. They didn't know what to do.
Well, being as how we are in Colorado, the only person that's ever had a bigger glove is Mr. Shane Carwin, who had a 5X.
Wow.
Yes, you listen to Brendan Schaub talking about he trained with Shane Carwin. Like,
Yeah, Schaub's from.
he's
Denver
from
area.
I think he's from
like Aurora or
yeah.
something.
He used to talk about training with Carwin. He was like, it was like rolling with a bull giraffe. Like, he was so big, so strong, and he was a freak. And he had a 9-to-5 job. He was an engineer.
I mean, Stipe's a firefighter,
It's crazy.
and I remember
How he
reading-
doesn't get more appreciation for that.
I know.
I'm like, you're the UFC heavyweight champion. In my opinion, probably the baddest man on the planet.
No pun intended, right?
I don't know. I mean, he's. You think Tyson Fury could beat his ass? Absolutely not.
No, but yeah, he's super underrated.
He's super underrated. He should be a lot more popular.
Yeah.
Because
He doesn't. He doesn't talk shit. He does his job.
he's not a Connor or Colby.
Yeah.
God, Colby.
Hey, man, I'll tell you what. A year and a half ago, I was like, I hate this guy. He's annoying. He should be cut. He's an idiot. Now I'm like, okay, he's pretty stupid, but I want to see him fight. I like watching him. I really do.
I enjoy, because I'm not a big Tyron Woodley fan.
I don't
Never
like
have
Woodley.
been. I enjoyed what he did to Tyron Woodley.
Yeah, I agree.
I wish he would have done that to Kamaru Usman.
That was a good one.
That was a good one, but it just shows you what a tank Kamaru is.
Yeah, he really is.
Like
he
he had just the same gas tank, and at the end of the fight, he broke Colby's jaw. But that shows a psycho that Colby is. He kept fighting with a broken jaw.
Oh yeah, that was amazing. I'm not a huge fan of the instant rematches, which I think
That should have been one.
I agree. And
Gilbert Burns, who's this bum?
hey, he's pretty tough, but I don't know if he
I'm
deserved
calling
it.
him a bum from my seat.
But in my opinion, based on the last 3 years I've watched, or 3 or 4 years I've followed, I think this whole instant rematch thing started real heavily with Conor, because as soon as he loses, he's like, I want the rematch. But that was one that I would have been like, I'll watch that one instantly.
Yeah, I mean, so like I talk shit on Conor a lot to your brother, especially, who I'm pretty sure if Conor told him to gargle his ball sack, he would. He's done a lot for the sport. He's like made it. The money fights, like the big money fights, those really didn't exist before Conor.
His old trash talk was priceless.
It was fantastic.
Priceless.
Who the fuck is this guy?
He actually went and talked about that. He was like, of course I know who Jeremy Stevens is. He's like, but I had to roast him
all
on the spot,
all the great trash talkers. My favorite is Chael Sonnen.
Oh yeah, Chael P.
The greatest. His
1-on-1, 2-on-1.
His pre-fight interview before Anderson Silva was one of the greatest things I've ever seen in my life.
Oh yeah.
And he was like, Anderson speaks English. He lives in Las Vegas. His interpreter, I could buy an app for 99 cents that does the same thing he does. He speaks English.
I especially enjoy Michael Bisping's trash talk. I wish I would have been a fan longer when Michael Bisping was more active, because I caught him at the very end.
All-time favorite trash talk of all time is when Chael Sonnen was fighting Tito Ortiz in Bellator. And Tito Ortiz was married to Jenna Jameson.
Oh yeah.
And
The old dirty movie.
Tito was like, man, all you do is use your mouth to make money. And dude, Chael whipped around. He was like, the only person I know that's made their mouth using money is your ex-wife.
Wow. That is
cold-blooded.
That's epic, and it's true, and it's quick and witty.
Well, yeah, it's Jenna Jameson. Yeah.
Oh. So, current roster, if you could pick your top matchup, like, dream matchup, who would it be right now?
Ooh. Man, that's such a tough question. Honestly, probably Israel and John Jones.
That should happen.
At a catch weight.
Based on the Twitter exchange they've had.
Because here's the problem. If, let's say they agree to fight at light heavyweight, Israel is a much smaller man than John Jones.
He is.
John is a big dude.
He is.
He weighs 240 pounds.
Yeah.
He has to cut down to 205. Both of his brothers are, one was an all-pro defensive lineman.
Both of them won a Super Bowl.
Yeah. Arthur and
Chandler.
And
still in the NFL.
Yeah, so that he has to cut down. But if they meet like a catch weight, I don't know what that would be. Maybe like
195.
195 maybe. Why the UFC doesn't have more weight classes? I don't get it. It's so stupid.
It goes 185 to 205.
Yeah, then 205 to 265.
Yeah,
it's a 60-pound gap.
Right.
Like they should probably have like a 225. That's the one I want to see, because I don't like John Jones at all. And you don't like Israel. I know that.
I don't hate him. He's weird.
Yeah.
But
that's what makes him good.
No, I don't hate him like I hate John Jones. I despise John. I think he's a scumbag. Yeah. And I think it's ridiculous that he's been allowed to do what he does. Israel's just a weird guy to me. Like when he humped Paulo Costa, I was like, okay, this is too much.
But you got, not to defend him, but those guys hated each other.
Oh yeah.
And I didn't know what was going. I'm not going to be one of these guys like,
fake-ass Ricky Martin.
Oh, I know he was going to beat him up, because Paulo Costa is terrifying.
He really is. He worked him.
Israel is so fast.
Yeah.
it looked like Paulo's never boxed a day in his life.
Yeah, I supremely underrated him. I thought whether if Israel won, it would at least be a decision or go to the later rounds. I didn't think he'd KO him in round 2.
Yeah. So I mean, who would your dream matchup be?
So some of the ones that have been stewing that they talked about, I want to see Jorge back because he's fun.
Game bread, baby.
See,
Street Jesus.
I want to see him and Colby get after it because I feel like that would be
a good one.
And then
because they hate each other too.
For some reason, I want to see. They're not the same class, and they've never even talked about it. But I would love to see Colby and Connor.
Oh, dude, the press conferences.
Yeah.
Now,
because Colby gets annoying, but he does say some good stuff.
I will say, I think Connor would get the best of him in the trash talk.
I do too, but I think it would be because there's not many people that would try to. There's not many people that try and clap back at Connor, and I think he would.
In his own way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another dream matchup of mine would be John Jones goes up to heavyweight, and
Brock.
No, Francis Ngannou.
They've talked about that.
The most frightening human that's walking the face of this planet.
Yeah, they have talked about that. I would love to see that. But I'll be honest. I just don't like John. I know he's so athletic.
Exactly. That's why I want him to fight Francis and get his head knocked off.
I don't even like the way he fights. He just makes me mad, and I know
he just makes me mad.
He does. Like I feel like his last 5 title defenses, I feel like
he should have lost to Dominic Reyes.
Yeah, I feel like he just did barely. He just hung on just so he could keep the title. Wasn't like Israel could have done that against Acosta.
Yeah,
he didn't. He went out there and smoked him.
He tried to do it against Yoel too, but Yoel wouldn't engage, and then Israel's a counter fighter.
Yoel maybe he's overrated because his last couple fights. Where you think he could smoke? It was terrible.
He's so weird.
He's 43. So.
Well, maybe he's probably closer to 50.
His birth certificate.
He's got kind of some of that Cuban math going on. You were born in 1960, amigo.
I know you, Mike.
I know you. Francis Ngannou, John Jones, heavyweight. Let's make it happen, Dana. Because I want to see John Jones's head get knocked to the moon, and it would happen.
I don't know who I got in that one. I don't know. I think you're ridiculous if you bet against John Jones because he has never lost really. Yep. But at the same time, Francis is.
But then again, we've never seen John Jones at heavyweight.
Nope.
He's probably even more terrifying. But what about Francis Ngannou versus a heavyweight Anthony Johnson?
Oh wow.
Dude, that's 2 silverback gorillas fighting. Because one of them touches you, you're going to sleep.
Yeah.
What he did to Rosenstrike.
Francis?
Yeah, he caught him with a looping, I think it was a left hand.
It was just 20 seconds, right?
And bink. Took him out. He's frightening.
I still think about the Ben Askren and Jorge Masvidal.
Oh man,
when we were watching that Winnipeg,
I felt so bad. I felt so bad for Ben because I like Ben. He's funny.
He really is.
You show up to a press conference in slacks and flip flops, and he can wrestle his ass off, and he's funky.
One of the
best entrance music ever.
One of the funniest things I've ever seen and heard in UFC is whenever. It was 2 weeks later, and someone was asking Jorge a question, and they were like, so something about Ben Askren. He's like, sorry, I pay respect to the dead. I'm not talking about him.
Oh, God. Man, one of the funniest things I've ever seen UFC related is, the Francis Ngannou, Alistair Overeem.
Oh, God.
There's a video, I've got to find it, but when he landed that uppercut, somebody made a video of Alistair's soul leaving his body, going to the airport, and going back to Holland, and I laughed so hard. I thought he was dead.
Yeah, Overeem can't be well. He's had 70 professional fights.
I see Overeem having some bad CTE issues in his. Well, he probably does now. You can't be knocked out that many times and not have some resisting residual effects.
Yeah.
I love UFC, man. Dana pisses me off a lot, but without him, it wouldn't be possible.
He is truly polarizing and entertaining. I wish I would have gotten on a lot earlier. I didn't for whatever reason. I always tell everyone this, but the big reason I even started being a fan is because I got to meet Uriah Faber, and I was like, tried to act like I know what I was talking about.
Old split chin.
Oh, come on, man.
I don't know whether to talk to him or take his chin on a date.
Wipe his chin off. No.
Put a tampon in his chin.
When Antonio took us to those fights, he was like, you get to meet Uriah. And I was like, I just know this guy's name. And then I started watching a lot more, and it was a lot more fun. And then, of course, I think when a lot of the guys back in the chapter started fighting, and then Aaron, took off.
That's crazy.
Doing that.
He's doing well.
Yeah, I mean, the dude started in Tahlequah.
He's training with Rafael, I think that's how you say his name, Rafael Lovato, who's legit, is a Bellator champion still, I believe.
He vacated it because he's gone through some injuries.
Oh.
But
dude, he beat Gegor Mousasi.
Yeah.
Who was a smashing machine.
Yeah, the only reason he vacated is because he's had some brain injuries.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't listen to that one on Joe.
I did.
You did?
Yep. I listen to so many, it's hard to keep track.
Well, he puts out like 5 a week, and they're all 3 hours. I'm like, oh my gosh.
That dude, he's kind of like The Rock. He's always doing something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited for the UFC fights coming up. I'm excited about that. Tomorrow's the big day, baby. Let's come on, Sooners, man. I don't ask for much. I'll probably be asking you again in 2 weeks anyway, but come on.
Yeah, let's see. 1-2, some close losses. 2-1. Texas should be probably 1-2.
Yep.
Against Texas Tech, that miracle. Let's see.
I had Texas Tech in that game.
They should have won it.
I had them for the spread, not the money line, though. Yeah, when that Texas Tech quarterback put the horns down,
that's when I got
no. You had them. Don't do that.
Yeah, I saw that on Barstool. It was like as soon as after he did that, they
Can you seriously believe this is an unsportsmanlike penalty in the Red River Shootout? I don't care if they may call it the showdown. It's the Red River Shootout.
I can. Unfortunately, it's
so stupid.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
But they can do this.
Yeah.
What's the?
Well, I like how the NFL now is a little more loose with like their celebrations.
Well, they definitely are. There's some wild ones coming out. They're like rocking the baby and stuff. And my favorite one is the grenade.
The grenade. I've seen so many. It's hard to keep up with. But
or the leapfrog. Where they doom.
Oh yeah. I like when they all get tired. I like when they all get in a group and dance or whatever. But yeah, no. Hopefully tomorrow will be a good game. Like I said. Haven't really put any money down on it, but
lay your money down. Oh, I definitely have.
Yeah, we never did recap that. What do you got?
Huh?
What do you got?
I'm not going to go into those type of details. Let's just say it's a significant sum.
It'll be decent. I love how we say significant sum. Someone's probably thinking like $500-$700 or whatever. You're like,
no, it's
a little bit of fun money.
It is. It's over 100 and less than 500.
Yeah.
But for me, I mean, I'm playing with house money though, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I mean, you're up a couple $100, same as me. So,
I have a love-hate relationship with sports gambling because I love sports gambling because it takes a long time.
I will say this, I agree with you. I think it should be legal 100% because I think it brings more fans in.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you watch like I don't really care about the NBA. I'll watch it, but if I bet $20 in it, my whole mood changes. It's only $20.
But like we did tonight.
We're glued.
I never thought I would be yelling at an NBA Finals game.
Buckets?
Jimmy Buckets! Get away from Whitey! He kept passing to this white dude who didn't make shit. I'm like, quit passing it to the ghost and let's go to the hole.
Come on, Jimmy.
Bald-ass LeBron. shit dreaded AD.
But...
Gambling makes everything more competitive. I don't care who you are.
Whether you've got big skin, little skin in the game, it makes it so much more fun.
I think it's just a part of your brain. It's like...
Yeah, you just want to win.
I got something to lose here.
I mean, we had $40.
We better watch this cricket game.
We don't need $40. And you said it's all money you made. But same with fantasy football. I'll never not play fantasy.
I love it.
It's like, you got a guy in the Dolphins. You would never watch a Dolphins game.
Yeah.
But, if it's down to the wire... You're tuned in.
Yeah, like my teams are dog shit.
Are you 3 leagues or 2?
Huh?
2 leagues or 3?
2.
I don't like doing 3, but I'd already committed.
3's a lot.
It's too much. So I want to do 2 because I'm in 3. The one that I did want to do, not blaming it, but I am 0-4, and then 3-1 in the other 2. So.
Well, I believe I am in last place on one of mine, and
I am too.
It's bad. So.
Well, we've been running for quite a while. It's been a good chat as always.
Yeah.
Let's hear your final prediction. OU Texas tomorrow.
Man.
We've got our pork butt on for what are we doing? 7 hours?
No, so we put it on at
7
10.
to 10?
When I wake up, which my beautiful daughter will probably wake me up at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. I will wrap it. You wrap it in aluminum foil. That way it doesn't get much more smoke. It doesn't need any more smoke flavor. It just gets more tender. And I'll probably keep it on until
kickoff?
Yeah.
10 a.m.?
No, I'm going to have to take it off before kickoff because I'm not leaving that TV.
True.
Yeah, it should be good. Oh, man. Final prediction. OU 35, Texas 28. That gets me my 2 points from OU and my under. So, let's go.
We need another Georgia Tech Louisville night. You nailed that one.
Except the opposite. I need fewer points. That's why I hate sports gambling. It's like don't score, don't score too many.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna close it out with this shit if you're done with it. I'm terrible at the spreads. I always pick the fun prop bets, the weird ones like first person to score a touchdown or
first person to stick their tongue out,
throwing for 250 yards or more. But I went on game 4 of the finals. I went the over. I was like, it's a lock that they're gonna ball out like crazy. I was like 219.5 the over.
Oh God!
They scored 219 points. How do these statisticians get within 0.5? It blows my mind.
It's almost mathematically impossible.
It's ridiculous. I swear, if someone was like, "It's all rigged," I'd be like, "I believe it." I go conspiracy theory 100%.
Because they get close every time.
Yeah,
and it's not like, oh, I'm 10 points off. They're half a point off.
OU Missouri State, 48-0.
Mm-hmm.
The spread is 48.
It's stupid. Like they knew that OU was going to pull their first and second string. We're playing our third string quarterback.
Yeah, how do they know that OU's not going to score?
Poor Missouri State.
One more touchdown.
Bobby Petrino, baby.
Hey, you remember going to tailgate with them?
Yeah,
that was fun.
That was the night that Josh Gillis caught up a table on fire.
Is it really?
Yes, it is.
I guess I don't remember.
And then pissed to put it out. Yes, that man right there.
That doesn't sound like him.
You want to talk about break the mold? Yeah. Thanks for having me on. We'll have to do this again. Probably not in person, because the next time I visit you out here, I will be flying.
Yeah.
Because that drive is brutal.
The good thing is this stuff is pretty mobile, so like take the microphone off that, but definitely wanted to do it in person for the first one at least because they're so much better. I mean, Zoom is the nature of 2020, unfortunately, but no, we'll definitely do it again. It's been a lot of fun and gonna get some shut eye and looking forward to tomorrow. So.
Yeah, I can't believe we talked for almost an hour and a half.
It's so easy.
It just goes. Like I maybe looked over that clock like 3 times.
Yeah, it's fun to track. Makes it easy though, having good conversation, talking about it.
Yeah, brother. Thanks for having me on. We'll have a couple fun days. Y'all not working in the Rockies, so I'm looking forward to it. Yep. I want to see America's Mountain tomorrow. Stoked about that.
Yeah, we're gonna hit all the spots tomorrow. We're gonna watch the game, hit Pikes Peak, Garden of the Gods, and then do all that stuff.
And then Monday, this big man is headed east.
Headed back down to the Ville.
There you go.
Well, everybody, thank you for listening. Hope you enjoyed it. And if you laughed at all, please let us know. Peace.